new friends. I thought that today we could do something a little bit different. Usually when you come over, we hang out in the kitchen or in the den loft area. But I thought maybe today we could have a nice little chat here and enjoy these sounds and feel like we're hanging out on a cloud a little bit. The weather outside is funny today, but I was thinking that maybe instead of using lights like we usually do, we would let the sun come and go, because there's something I wanted to talk to you about today, and I'd love to hear your thoughts or opinions or what I think is right or wrong or weird or what you think. I think this light and then dark and the changes will all play into that. So what I wanted to talk to you about is some thoughts I had during a retreat I did a few years ago. And it wasn't a retreat where I went anywhere. I did it at home, and we would meet over a Zoom link, I think it was, some sort of online meeting. And it was one of the Ignatian exercises. So the Jesuits are known for retreats. They were founded by St. Ignatius Loyola. And now one of the many things that they do is give retreats. And so this book is one of the spiritual exercise retreat books. And the retreat that I did was actually called it was Inner Peace in Darkness and Light. And it's a little bit of a I don't want to say a darker retreat, but you focus on some harder things than maybe some other retreats would. This particular book that we used has, as it says, 4 guided retreats in it. So there are other ones you could do too. And if you're interested in something like this, you could get the book. And realistically, you could probably do it on your own, but I don't recommend that. There's a lot of benefit to doing with a group and sharing and having some people with you as you walk through this. If you are interested in doing it with a group, you can Google it and find them. A place to start might be Seal PDX. It's SEEL and then space PDX, or Jesuits West. And they offer these. And there's all kinds of different ones. There's 30-day ones. I think there's shorter and longer ones. Kind of what you're looking for. And one of the things you do is journal. So this was my journal. Don't worry, I'm not going to read it all to you. This kind of thing is not usually my norm or how I personally prefer to pray. I especially dislike journaling. I don't enjoy it at all. But I did really enjoy the fellowship, and I was blown away how well our work our group worked together. And then all the other groups, so there's a big group, and then you break into small groups. And you're with the same small group every time, so you get to know your teammates in this, or your spiritual partners. And I was really just blown away at how great our group was and how well we were there spiritually for each other, or how well we meshed. And what's interesting is among all the other small groups, and I think there were 6 or 8, again, this was a couple years ago, so I don't remember everything, but they all said the same thing. So somehow, and just randomly, you get divided up in these groups by the moderators and leaders before it ever starts. It all worked out, and everyone seemed to be with just the people they should be with, so that was nice. And our particular group leader, she mentioned that the first time she did one of these, she felt the same way about her group, and they're still in touch and share, so it's really nice. It's a great way. Anyhow, that's a lot of background. But what I wanted to talk to you about is something that has been on my mind ever since I did this retreat, which, like I said, was 2 years ago. Let me check. Yep, 2021. That's the date. And you meditate on different things every day in the retreat, and I won't go into it too much. If anyone's really interested, if you want to hear more about it later, let me know. But on this one particular day, it was day 3 of week 2. Our meditation was to meditate about going to heaven and then going to hell. And so I won't read everything and tell you all my thoughts. And I will say some days you get a lot more than others. That's the nature of prayer as well as most other things. So don't feel bad if you try this and you don't feel a whole lot on certain days. Or don't use feelings as your judge. It's a good rule of most things, actually. Anyhow, the heaven part was really wonderful and very strong for me. But the part I wanted to talk to you about was when I had to meditate upon hell. So if you study the lives of the saints, you'll know that many of them, actually, probably not many, but some of them have had visions of hell. And I would like to really emphasize here that I did not have a vision. Okay, that's not what I'm sharing with you here. I didn't go on some sort of other universe tour into the spiritual realm. So this, when I'm going to talk about their visions, I'm not trying to equate my prayer with that. But their visions all talk about, the physical pain and the torment of hell. And then most of them, too, talk about the ultimate feeling of despair they had, right? This despair of being separated from God and having no way to get back to Him. And I think the saints who express that best are probably Saint Teresa of Avila and Saint Faustina. And then some of the other saints, if you're just interested in ones who've had visions of hell, Saint John Bosco is a good one to look up, or Blessed Catherine Emmerich. And it's that despair part that I wanted to talk about with you, because I was really afraid to be meditating about hell. Not that I thought I'd go there, I'd welcome in a demon or something, but just it's not really a place I wanted to be. And what I found when I meditated on it was nothing. And what I mean by nothing is like literally nothing. And what occurred to me in there, and what I've been meditating on for a long time, is that we don't mean anything at all to the devil. There's often, I find, this portrayal of God and the devil being in this huge battle, and the devil loving us. Oh, excuse me. Absolute opposite of that. God loving us and the devil hating us. And what I found when I was praying this so deeply was this idea that the devil doesn't hate you or me. We are completely meaningless to him. We are nothing but pawns, right? The devil hates God and wants to take things away from God. And what you and I and all souls are like aren't this thing that the devil meditates upon or pays any attention to until God has us, right? And then, like a spoiled brat kind of kid, he just wants to take it away from God. God can't have it. But once he has it back, he doesn't care about it. And what I was finding in this hell prayer, which sounds so weird, that is a weird combination of words, but that once he has us, he doesn't even care enough about us to torture us. Like, we mean nothing to him. So any turning towards him or thoughts towards him, it's worse than being hated, right? It's being literally nothing. To be nothing. And maybe, this doesn't sound like something to go to sleep on, or isn't very relaxing. And it's especially true if you consider almost all other depictions of hell do, include this physical torment. But I think, just like the sun coming out in perfect timing, it is kind of nice and hopeful. Hold on, I got something on your face. There we go. I got that for you. Because heaven is so wonderful, right? You are so, 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 so loved. And you're not loved because somebody else has you. And you're not loved because you did something great or perfect. You're just totally loved. And all you have to do in every moment is decide, do you want to turn toward all that love? Or do you want to turn toward nothing, toward total indifference? And so, and it looks like you're feeling a little sleepy. Maybe you're looking for something positive to help you sleep or comforting. You know right now you can turn toward God. And my guess is, since you're so lovely and so willing to sit here and spend a little bit of time with me, that you like turning toward God. And I like that for you too. So anyway, I'd love to know what you think, or of course someone decides to be loud right there, right? Of course. But I'd just love to know what you think, if you agree or disagree, or even if you don't have any thoughts on it. I think I've maybe ever talked about this with maybe two people before, because I don't want to oversell the situation. This is just something I've thought of. But it really intrigues me. I think having someone indifferent is worse than having someone have a strong feeling toward you, even if it's negative. And it's even better to have all of love, the whole universe, love you. That's the best. Oh yeah, we can look into this a little bit more. You want me to just read the back? Sure. So, renowned Jesuit retreat director Michael Hansen, S.J., presents a radically innovative way to make the spiritual exercises the classic retreat in Catholic spirituality. So again, the Ignatian exercises are very old and very famous and well regarded, worth looking up on their own. This creative and easy to use guide presents 4 retreats on inner peace that are, for the first time, accessible to anyone without the need to get away from ordinary life or have a spiritual director. And so that is how it was for me. I just went about my regular life, and then you carve out a special hour a day to do the retreat, except the one night a week where you meet, and then that's longer and you do some other stuff, and you do get a little bit of spiritual direction. But what's nice is there's very good guidelines in place so that everyone gets a chance to speak, and shy people don't get an encouragement and a set time to do it, and very extroverted people don't go over and take all the time, which is nice because that's something you have to really manage in small groups. I like the sound of books. And the fabric. Oh, yeah, you want to see my bookmark? It's Pope Francis, and he's very happy to be seen that dove. And this quote from him says, "We all have to think if we can become a little poorer. All of us have to do this. How can I become a little poorer in order to be more like Jesus, who was the poor teacher?" And it's appropriate because this is from Catholic Relief Services, which does charity work all over the world. Feels a little funny to be tapping on the Pope. Isn't this book pretty? I got it as a present, and I used it to do all my retreat journaling in. But that didn't take the whole book, so there's lots of other stuff, and lots of blank pages too. But each page has these flowers. which I like both because they're pretty and because when I get bored listening to people, I trace them. This is the back, and it has this little elastic to keep it shut or to mark your place, and a dragonfly on the front. It's textured a little with these metallics, but mostly it's smooth. Anyway, my dear friend, thank you for being here with me. I know that today was different than usual, and I think it's really nice that you're flexible and open. Thank you for listening to me. I hope you do feel really loved and just really hopeful and happy that there's all this love for you and you just have to turn to it. And know that I pray for you and that I think of stories that you've shared with me and pray for those too. I hope you're feeling very sleepy and that you have a wonderful rest. I'll talk to you soon.